What's up, guys? We are back with another Madballs Wave 1 figure from PremiumDNA Toys, and today we're taking a look at BRUISE Brother. Of course, just like the rest of this wave, all of these figures come in the kind of big window box packaging, but you've got the big slipcover over them as well. So you've got the Madballs logo with the green background that's covered in 1,000,001 different Madballs, heads, balls, whatever we're going to call them. So you pop that off, of course, and we've actually got our figure within. So you've got that huge window to showcase the figure, and then you can see his accessories kind of peeking out back there. We've got some artwork of his Madball in the corner. You've got his nameplate, and then the two sides give us some artwork of the character himself, as well as cross-sell for the entire wave in Madball form, and then the back of the box gives us a big product shot of BRUISE Brother, followed by 3 smaller shots of the rest of the wave to do some cross-sell, and then you also get his accessories, kind of like a loadout down there at the bottom of everything he comes with. So yeah, let's do it. Let's pull him out and take a look. And here we go. Out of the package, our BRUISE Brother. The puns write themselves with this one. Madballs figure, and this guy is definitely different from the bunch because he is the one that is like clearly like 100% I guess at least for the most part, living human rather than some sort of zombie or monster or skinless eyeball man. But he's also a little bit different in other ways too. Like he has more accessories this time around. He has weapon storage for one of his accessories, and he is the one figure that has an accessory that is not at all weird. It's just a regular accessory. So let's get started, see what this guy can do, see how he moves around. Again, if you've seen one of these so far, you have seen them all. They all still move very, very similarly, and this guy is no exception. So you've got a head that can bobble basically side to side, up and down. Not a whole lot of range, but it does move. You've got rotation, arms out at the shoulders, rotate all the way around. We've got our single jointed rotating elbow. You've got your hinges and rotation at the wrist. Torso is articulated with a big cut across the chest. You can bobble forward, not much side to side, but that's also your pivot point for rotation. Your legs, well, I should mention this now, they are, of course, modular, so you can pop everything apart, but the legs will go out and they kick forward. So about that far. You do have to kind of twist them at the joint here to make them go forward a little bit. And again, this is a peg system, so everything can come apart at the pegs to be mixed and matched and flipped and flopped around. But it's also where your rotation is at the leg. It's not a true thigh cut, but it does move. We've got a single jointed rotating knee right here. And then, well, see, there it goes again. And then we've got our hinges. And you've got some rocker down here at those ankles. So he moves exactly like all the other figures, and that's not a negative. I mean, they're all the same kind of construction. They're the same idea, the same system, because of course they're all modular and they all have to fit together. So all the pegs on this guy will fit into the holes on all of the other figures and vice versa. So if you want to have this guy with a big purple horn head, you can do that. Or if you want to have I don't know, a rotting foot from a splitting headache, you can do that here. But it also allows them to all move exactly the same way, even though they are in many ways a little bit different when it comes to how they're sculpted and how those joints all look like they fit together, but they all fit together exactly the same. Design-wise, though, this guy is kind of along the same lines as this splitting headache figure. So he is very busy when it comes to his design, but he's also, again, the one that is still as human as you're going to get with these. So he has, you know, normal flesh tone to some degree here. He looks like he might have been a man at some point, but he's some kind of creature, and there's just all kinds of stuff going on with this guy. So he's got, you know, gashes all over him which have blood and goop coming out of him, and that's all sculpted in there. The gash itself is sculpted, and the blood coming out is sculpted. The sutures are sculpted. He's even got a nipple ring. You've got some wounds underneath the bandolier, which is a separate piece. So, you know, if you wanted to take it off of him, you can easily do that, since of course you can take the entire figure apart. You can take that off. You've got a mom tattoo tampoed over here on his arm. You've got a wing tattoo with an X tampoed back here. He for some reason has a big steel plate riveted on his back. And we have a sheath back here for a knife. And this is what I was talking about, where he has like a legit normal accessory. It's just a knife. But he does have some weapon storage, which I think is kind of cool. You've got more blood splatter down here on his boots. He has got a tear in his boot, and he's got some weird green goop coming out of his toenail because, you know, why not? Why not give him some of that green goop that is kind of all over this line? But he's very busy in a good way. It's again a big gross out factor, so he has been through it. He has gotten beaten up, maybe done some beating based on all of the blood on his hands, and I think he looks great. Like it's a gnarly, nasty looking design, and if anything, the most unsettling thing about this character, the grossest thing, is his face, because he's got these big gnarly purple lips with these decidedly angular and like nasty looking teeth. So there's some funkiness going on with this guy. Whether he is or isn't human, I suppose, is up for debate still. But he's got like a safety pin through his face here. He's got more cuts and gouges and sutures. I do love the asymmetrical aspect of him having the eye patch versus this super bloodied and swollen eyeball. And, you know, again, just like all of these other figures, all of this is sculpted and painted. So like the ring around his eye is sculpted. All of these cuts and sutures and staples and the safety pin, it's all sculpted detail. It's not just paint. I mean, of course, the paint is there, but it is all sculpted on top of that. And then he's got his big biker's helmet, which has seen better days. So like he's got like some sort of pipe or something that's shoved in there. He's got a bunch of you know, skulls and crossbones and everything. He's been shot. He's been carved up all over the place. There's some kind of thing, implement stuck in the side of his head. So this dude has seen some damage, and I think that's kind of the gross out factor for this one, is that he has been beaten and bloodied so badly that he's not just like a rotting corpse. He's not a monster. He's not a guy without any skin. This dude has been through the thick of it, and there's a lot of detail to bring out that incredibly gross aspect of this figure. But he looks great. There's fantastic paint work. Sculpt work is top notch here, and I'm really, really happy with this guy. Just like all the others so far, they've had really fantastic detail in their own unique way, and BRUISE Brother here is no different. He looks ridiculous, but in a really cool way. And then as far as accessories goes, this guy has the same hand treatment that all the other figures have gotten, so we'll start there. So we get 8 total hands, 6 extra in the box. You got fists on him to start with. We get a set, so 2 gripping hands, 1 for each side, and these are all decked out with, cuts and gouges and blood and goop and bandages all over them. You get a set of pointing finger hands, and then you get a set of relaxed, open palm, slightly gripping style hands. So you've got the same kind of stuff there that we've seen across the board. To start with, we've also got his knife, and this is literally just a knife. The only weird thing on it is that it has a skull on the handle. Otherwise, it's just a knife that sits in his sheath. Probably not going to use it nearly as much as the rest of the accessories because this guy comes with some wild stuff. So the tamest thing that he has is this bat. But at the same time, it's just over the top too. So it's this gnarly piece of wood. It's cracked down the middle. It's gotten this plate to hold it together. It's had a bite taken out of it though. Like that's clearly a bite taken out. It's got teeth all in it. There is, of course, a bug on it because there has to be bugs on it. There's nails all through it and everything, and it looks fantastic. I really, really like this aspect of these accessories. Like they're over the top and ridiculous and just sculpted and painted really, really nicely. And then he has this guy here. So this is a swappable hand. It's a swappable left hand. So we'll just pop a hand out here and replace it with this. And of course you could use this with the other figures if you wanted to, but he's got a boxing glove that has all of the classic green goop that we've seen all over the place so far with teeth in it. So he's done some damage, and he has been through it with the boxing glove on. So even with the boxing glove, people are just getting maimed and destroyed out here. But there's a lot of great texture on this. All the goop is textured. It's all sculpted on. And then the boxing glove itself has a nice kind of leather texture to it almost. And then with kind of a nice black wash on it to make it look a little worn and weathered to some degree. So that's really cool. I like the idea that this guy gets a swappable hand as an accessory. But the coolest thing that he comes with, and maybe my favorite accessory so far out of all of these, I think it might beat the weaponized turkey leg, is the weaponized beehive that we have. So yeah, this one's pretty ridiculous. So it's a huge stick that is through a beehive with honey dripping all over it, and it's covered in bees because everything has to have bugs on it, right? But this thing is ridiculous. I mean, I didn't notice that this was what this was when I first opened him. I was like, okay, he's got like a mallet or something in there, and then I realized, oh no, this is a beehive that has a stick that he's going to smack somebody in the head with. So I really like this one. I mean, it's the weird factor, the stupid factor on it, honestly, that really does it for me. So it's incredibly well sculpted. I mean, all those bees are sculpted on there. It's not just paint. Same with the honey oozing out of it, and it has a nice texture to it. All of this line work is sculpted in there, and then it has a big amount of black wash in there to bring it out. So I mean, this kind of stuff is what I really am drawn to with this line. Like, I mean, the bat has a bite taken out of it. That's pretty wild, right? There's teeth in the boxing glove. And then, of course, he has this very, very almost, innocuous knife that's back there that has nothing crazy to it. It just happens to be a knife that he has. He's got all this other weird stuff to kind of ramp things up. So he's got a really cool spread of accessories. Of course, you can use this stuff with the other figures too, mix and match the accessories, just like you can mix and match all the body parts. So yeah, this guy's really good, and ultimately that's what we're at when we're finishing out this wave, is that these are really fun figures. I think that they have delivered on what they set out to make with these, and at this point I'm really curious to see what more we could get out of this line. I would love to see more of these because I have a thing for weird, big, fat, chunky action figures. These guys fit the bill up and down. They have ridiculous sculpts. They've got that gross out factor that I remember from toys when I was a kid because, for some reason it was such a big thing. And then, of course, they have all these crazy accessories, and Bruise Brother is no exception there with that wild bat. And, of course, the weaponized beehive is just the thing that absolutely takes the cake with this guy. He looks crazy. He's got tons of great sculpt, a lot of paint applications all over him, but he has a beehive for a weapon. And I really can't get over how stupid and funny that is. And I think it absolutely just rounds out what this line is about, where it's weird and goofy and different. So that's going to do it for this look at the PremiumDNA Madballs Bruise Brother. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And until next time.